Hello friends, welcome to our Rockstar Virat Power YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to study The Boy Who Broke the Bank chapter. See, this story is written by Ruskin Bond and he is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landore in Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of the children literature in India. He got Sahitya Academy Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra. He was awarded Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan respectively in 1999 and 2014. See, we will see some of the important vocabulary first, then we will go to the understanding for the story, the section. See, the word is given as grumbled, and in the meaning of the word grumbled is showed one's critical attitude. Showed one's critical attitude is called as grumbled. We will also take this margin question, but after understanding this story we will take these margin questions. Okay, see, the word is given as emphasize. Emphasize means draw attention to. The students, you have to write this vocabulary in your notebook so that you can understand these words regarding the topic. Okay, plodded. Plodded means what? Walked heavily is called as plodded. Walked heavily. See, the next word is given as hoisted. Hoisted means raised to a higher position. Hoisted means raised to a higher position. The next word is given as customary. Customary means usual or habitual. Usual or habitual is called as customary. Customary. Then the next word we will see. The next word is given as stationary. Stationary means stable or not moving. The thing which are stable is called as stationary things. Then next word given as bankrupt. Bankrupt means what? Without enough money to pay what you owe, financially ruined. The person is called as bankrupt person. Then the next word is given as nicked. Nicked. Nicked means cut slightly is called as nicked. Then next word is given as beeline. Beeline. Beeline means the direct route. Beeline means the direct route. Next word given as crooked. Crooked means not straight. The next one is given as squatting. Squatting means occupying. The next word given as barrow. Barrow means a cart. The next word is given as drought. Drought means shortage of rainfall. The next word is given as eminent. Eminent means standing above others in quality or position. The word given next is speculating. Speculating means what? Chewing over. Chewing over is called as speculating. The next word is given as frenzy. Frenzy means fury. Next word is boast. Boast means show off. The next word is given as farsightedness is called as long-sighted. Farsightedness means long-sighted. The next word is given as indulged in. Indulged in means took part in something. When we got participate in anything or we got interested in that is called as indulged in. The next word is given as dilemma. Dilemma means a difficult situation, a situation which makes problem. Like we can say that after the coronavirus, we got too much dilemmatic situation or too much dilemma. The next word is given as pursued is called as make someone to believe is called as pursued. Pursued means make someone to believe. Next word is given as aggravated. Aggravated means annoyed. Aggravated means annoyed. The next one is given as placate. Placate. Placate means stop someone from feeling angry. Then next word is given as disgust. Disgust means hatred. The next one is hooligans. Hooligans means bully. The next word is given as smote. Smote means made a heavy blow with a tool. Made a heavy blow with a tool is known as a smote. And hooligans, repeatedly you have to understand the bully. Then the next word we have to see So, okay, these are the words given in this passage, and we have to study the chapter according the boy who made something different than another person, and how he has done that all things, and in what manner the writer says our all the things. See, the boy who broke the bank, we have to start this chapter. In this chapter, Nathu grumbled to himself as he swept the steps of the Pimpalanagar bank owned by the Seth Govind Ram. He used the small broom hurriedly and carelessly, and the dust, after rising in a cloud above his head, settled down again on the steps. As Nathu was banging his pan against a dustbin, Sitaram, the washerman's son, passed by. See, in this story, the first is given as Nathu. Nathu grumbled himself as he swept the steps of the Pimpalanagar banks. He goes to the Pimpalanagar banks and owned by the Seth Govindaram. He owned by the Seth Govindaram. He used the small broom hurriedly and carelessly, and the dust, after rising in a cloud above his head, settled down again on the steps. As Nathu was banging his pan against a dustbin, Sitaram, the washerman's son, passed by. The washerman's son name is Sitaram, who passed by. Then Sitaram on his delivery round, he had a bundle of freshly pressed cloths balanced on his head. The boy balanced the freshly pressed cloths and don't raise such a dust, he called out to Nathu. Are you annoyed because they are still refusing to pay you an extra 2 rupees for a month? Then I don't wish to talk about it, complained the sweeper boy. I haven't even received my regular pay, and this is the 20th of the month. Who would think a bank would hold up a poor man's salary? As soon as I get my money, I am off. Not another week I work in this place. The boy is telling, sweeper boy is telling to the another boy that I will not live in this place, or I will not work for this place because they haven't given his regular money. And Nathu banged the pan against the dustbin several times just to emphasize his point and giving himself confidence. Well, I wish you luck, said Sitaram. Sitaram said him, okay, best luck. I will keep a lookout for any job that might suit you. And he plodded barefoot along the road, the big bundle of clothes hiding most of his head and shoulders. Then what happened? At the fourth home he visited, Sitaram heard the lady of the house mention that she was in need of a sweeper. The boy told that another sweeper boy that I will see any job if you have in near future. Tying his bundle together, he said, I know of a sweeper boy who is looking for a work. He can start from next month. He is with the bank just now, but they aren't giving him his pay and he want to leave. Then what happened? Is that so? Said Mr. Srivastava. Well, tell him to come and see me tomorrow. And Sitaram, glad that he had been service to both the customer and his friend, hoisted his bag on his shoulder and went his way. After that, Mr. Srivastava had to do some shopping. She gave instruction to I about looking after the baby and told the cook not to be late with the midday meal. Then she set out for the Pimpalnagar market place to make her customary tour of the cloth shop. Then what happened? A large shady tamarind tree grew at one end of the bazaar, and it was here that Mr. Srivastava found her friend Mr. Bhushan sheltering from the heat. The Miss Bhushan sheltering for the heat, and who seen him? The Srivastav. Sorry. Mr. Bhushan was fanning herself with a large handkerchief. She complained of the summer, which she affirmed was definitely the hottest in the history of Pimple Nagar. She then showed Mr. Srivastav a sample of the cloth she was going to buy, and for 5 minutes they discussed its shade, texture and design. In this way, the two persons are discussing about the clothes they have to buy in the near future. Having exhausted this topic, Mr. Srivastava said, "Do you know, my dear, that Seth Govind Ram Bank can't even pay its employee? Only this morning I heard a complaint from their sweeper who hasn't received his wages for over a month." She is gossiping like what the bank is like giving not money for the sweeper over a month. Shocking remarked Mrs. Bhushan, and if they can't pay the sweeper, they must be in a bad way. None of the others could be getting paid either. She said that if they are not giving the payment for the sweeper, nobody will get their payment also. She left Srivastava at the tamarind tree and went in a search of her husband, who was sitting in front of Kamal Kishore's photography shop talking with the owner. Then the Srivastava left the tamarind tree and went in the search for her husband because she want to buy some clothes. "So there you are," cried Mrs. Bhushan. "I have been looking for you for almost an hour. Where did you disappear?" "Now where?" replied Mr. Bhushan. "Had you remained stationary in one shop, I might have found you, but you go from one shop to another like a bee in a flower garden. Don't start grumbling. The heat is trying enough. I don't know what happening to Pimple Nagar. Even the bank's about to go bankrupt." "What's that?" said Kamal Kishore, sitting up suddenly. "Which bank?" The other people tell him. "Why, the Pimple Nagar Bank, of course. I hear they have stopped paying employees. Don't tell me you have an account there, Mr. Kishore." Then Kishore, the rumors are going to increase, and from the other boy, sweeper boy, to the boy who was pressing the cloths and distributing the cloth, then the woman, and then another woman, and then another guy, that is Mr. Kishore. "No, but my neighbor has," he exclaimed, and he called out over the low partition to the keeper of the barber shop next door. "Deep Chand, have you heard the latest? The Pimple Nagar Bank is about to collapse. You would better get your money out as soon as you can." Then what happened? Deep Chand, who was cutting the hair of an elderly gentleman, was so startled that his hand shook, and he nicked his customer's right ear. The customer yelped, and with the pain and distress, pain because of the cut and distress and because of the awful news he had just heard. With one side of his neck still unshaved, he sped across the road to the general merchant store where there was a telephone. The news is spreading like very in a disaster way. See, he dialed Seth Govind Ram's number. The Seth was not at home. Where was he? Then the Seth was holidaying in Kashmir. Oh, was that so? The elderly gentleman did not believe it. He hurried back to the barber shop and told Deep Chand, "The bird has flown. Seth Govind Ram has left town definitely. It means a collapse. And then he dashed out the shop, making a beeline for his office and checkbook. Then what happened? The news spread through the bazaar with the rapidity of a forest fire. From the general merchants, it traveled to the shop. See how the general merchant, the news traveled and up to the shop, circulated amongst the customer, and then spread with them in a various direction to the betel seller, the tailor, the free vendor, the jeweler, the beggar sitting on the pavement. Old Ganpat, the beggar, had a crooked leg. He had been squatting on the pavement for years, calling for alms. In the evening someone would come with a barrow and take him away. He had never been known to walk, but now, on learning that the bank was about to collapse, Ganpat astonished everyone, leaping to his feet and actually running at top speed to the direction of the bank. It soon became known that he had 1,000 rupees in saving. The beggar also had 1,000 rupees in savings. See how the people do the work for money. Men stood in groups at a street corner discussing the situation. Pipalnagar seldom had a crisis, seldom or never had floods, earthquakes or droughts, and the imminent crash of the Pipalnagar bank set everyone talking and speculating and rushing about in a frenzy, and some boasted of their farsightedness, congratulating themselves on having already taken out their money or on never having put any other, speculated on the reasons for the crash, putting it all down to excesses indulged in by Seth Govindram. The Seth had fled the state, said one he had fled the country, said another he was hiding in Pimpalnagar, said a third, see, he had hanged himself from the tamarind tree, said a fourth, and had been found that morning by the sweeper boy. Then what happened? By noon the small bank had gone through all its ready cash, and the harassed manager was in a dilemma. Emergency fund could only be obtained from another bank some 30 miles distant, and he wasn't sure he could pursue the crowd to wait until then. And there was no way of contacting Seth Govindram on his houseboat in Kashmir. See, people were turned back from the countries and told to return the following day. They did not like the sound of that, and so they gathered outside on the steps on the bank shouting, "Give us our money or we will break in." The news spread in a very didactic way, and all people were shouting and give our money back. We don't want to continue our bank saving account or deposit account with this bank, and fetch the Seth. We know he is hiding a safe deposit locker. Mischief makers who didn't have a paisa in the bank joined the crowd and aggravated their mood. The manager stood at the door and tried to placate them. He declared that the bank had plenty of money but no immediate means of collecting it. He urged them, "Go home and come back on the next day." "We want it now," chanted some of the crowd. Now, now, now. The manager was trying to convince people to calm down. There is no financial crisis in this bank, but the people don't try to understand what the real situation was. And a brick hurtled through the air and crashed through the plate glass window of the Pimpalnagar bank. Nathu arrived next morning to sweep the steps of the bank. He saw the refuse and broken glass and the stones cluttering the steps. Raising his hand in a gesture of horror and disgust, he cried, "Harigan, son of the donkeys, as though it isn't bad enough to be paid late, it seems my work has also to be increased." He smote the steps with his broom, scattering the refuse. "Good morning, Nathu," said the washerman's boy, getting down from his bicycle. "Are you ready to take a new job for the first of next month?" See, the Nathu telling the boy, from the boy, the good morning Nathu, said the washerman's boy, and washerman's boy want to offer him another job. You will have, I suppose, now that the bank is going out of a big business. How's that? Said Nathu. Haven't you heard? You would better wait here until half the population of Pimpalnagar arrives to claim their money. And he waved cheerfully. He did not have a bank account and sped away on his cycle. Nathu went back for sweeping the steps, muttering to himself. When he had finished his work, he sat down on the highest step to await the arrival of the manager. He was determined to get his pay. Who would have thought the bank would collapse? He said to himself, and looked thoughtfully into the distance. I wonder how it could have happened. See, the story starts from the same boy, and the boy is telling at the end that who would have thought the bank would collapse, he said to himself, and looked throughoutly into the distance. I wonder how it could have happened. And the starting point was he himself only, and the people got very misconception about the bank. In this way, the story tells us that we should not take any the people given the news by rather thinking that it is a true or it is a false, or it is just want to spread the bad news in a very bad way to targeted people to do or to collapse their business or way in this way. So in this story, I think you understand the real thought of the writer want to provoke you that you don't have to get any news like this is a true news, but you have to try that news is a fact or a rumor, and if it is a fact, then it must has a scientifically proven method, or it has a proof in newspaper or any other things. And if it is a rumor, then it don't have the points. In this way, today we studied the boy who broke the bank chapter. In our next video, we will solve the workshop of the this topic, the boy who broke the bank, in a very explanatory way, imaginary way. Thank you. We will see in the next video.